guys. Ooh, good morning. Alright, yeah, first things first, coffee. Oh, first of all, I wanted to say hello and welcome to new subscribers. I hope that you feel that you sort of found a bit of a home here on this little channel. Soul travelers, people that, you know, yeah, we're scattered throughout the world, we really are, and I had this acute moment yesterday where I really felt that, because it was a really shitty day yesterday. I mean, it was appalling, and I had this acute moment where I felt the need deeply of another soul traveler, of my soul family, you know, as it were. That's what I felt like. I thought, wow, I wish we could all just be together and that this was done, you know, it was finally done. I wish it was all fucking done already, because it really was just appalling yesterday. I went, I mean, several things happened, and I did get it wrong myself as well, no doubt about that, but in one instance I went to the bike shop where I've bought my electric bike, and I liked the bike, and a friend of mine really liked the bike, so she went there yesterday and we went together because she wanted to have a look with a view to buy another bike for herself, an electric one. Anyway, so we were there, we're outside of the bike shop, outside, just chatting. Oh, just a minute, guys. Looms. Okay, what's that? Alright, son. Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, I tell you, guys. Alright, son. Here. I tell you, guys. For any of you who are seeing, who get, when obviously when I upload this video, and if you get this video early-ish today, wherever you are, in America, Australia, England, I'm not a doom prophet at all, as you know, but I do honestly advise you to lie low today and tomorrow if you can, because Mars square Pluto, seriously, it's not for the faint of heart. And that's what yesterday really was all about, because it was already looming. So, because the bike shop, right, so I'm out there, outside, and this employee comes out of the bicycle repair place, which is next to it, gives me this look through these eyes, it's just like reptilian, you know, the stare, and starts laying into me and my friends. You have to wear a mask, he says. And I'm like, okay, right, okay. I knew straight away what was happening, because this guy was obviously an NPC, a Helix. This is a Gnostic term, and again, it's just a word, but you know, a non-souled entity. And it's like in the Matrix, you know, when the agents can download themselves into any of these, you know, these people that are still stuck in the Matrix. Only in this case, what it is that when you have a non-souled people, they, you know, I'm sure you've noticed, sometimes they're perfectly fine, they're perfectly nice and whatnot, but then all of a sudden they change. It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, you know. Well, I'd seen this guy before and he was perfectly pleasant. I knew it was an NPC because, you know, but because you just feel nothing, you know, you get that tumbleweed feeling, that sort of like feeling. But he was actively, it was malice, it was vitriol. Oh wow, it came off him in waves. It was directed toward me and my friends. You have to wear a mask. I said, no, I don't have to wear a mask. Yes, you do. I said, no, I don't. I said, I don't have to wear a mask. I'm not wearing a mask, and it's none of your goddamn business whether I do or do not, or what I do with my body. And he walked into the actual shop and he started he was swearing, and he was like, just, it was unbelievable. I was like, wow, I can't believe it. The daughter of the guy who owns the actual bike shop sort of said, oh, I apologise, I'm sorry. And so I said, well, that's right, love, it's not your fault. But, you know, he came back out. I said, you have no right to speak to me that way. Who do you think you are? You have no right to speak to me. You have to wear a mask because you're going to get my boss in trouble. And I was like, am I inside the shop? No, I'm not. Whoa. It was a full frontal assault. And this is what happens. It's as if these high-legs, these NPCs, whatever, they sort of become imbued. I think they are in and of themselves sort of just neutral, empty vessels, nothing, just that they're on autopilots. They're not aware, they're not self-aware, they're scripted. In my previous video, the one before I did last, I talk about this, what they are and how to detect them. You know, which isn't actually as easy as you might think. I mean, you know, it's really just not. And we need to be careful with that, because it's not a case of judgments and hatred and spot the NPC. There are people who actually are souls, but who are so wounded and so broken because of what they've been through that they may well appear as NPCs. And I think we need to be very careful with it. I think we need to remain empathetic and compassionate and wise, and let our hearts guide us. Yes, very discerning, highly discerning, and in awareness, which in and of itself is not an easy thing to do. But you know, I put him in his place. I was very pissed off, and it really wasn't good. Then I got home and I realised that, you know, the channel I've been talking about, Anna Brees, which I thought was a good channel, because people, and she stated this at the beginning of this endeavour, she stated that everyone who wants to send me a video on WhatsApp or WeTransfer telling me how they feel about what's going on is welcome. Nothing will be censored. Everyone has a voice. I remember her saying that very, very clearly. Very clearly. She's now taken the video where she says that down. It's gone. And she left a comment yesterday under the last video saying that people talking about any kind of conspiracies will not be allowed on the channel anymore. So no more dissenting voices, or either basically people that are awake, really awake and getting it. People talking about 9/11 or talking about Pizzagate or talking about just about Bill Gates and the vaccination thing, or just talking about, well, I'm waking up to what's really going on here and whatever. That no more will that be allowed. So she's done a complete U-turn. That really got me. That really got to me. It was like, wow. Either they got to her, or it was some sort of psyop. And the Matrix loves doing that. It likes to lure you in and dangle a carrot and say, look, there you go, see? People are awakening, and look what I do with that. Boom, slap it down. Do you know what I mean? This then led me to thinking, okay, I'm going to have to do a little tarot card reading. And ask what's really going on, tune in, you know, to the zeitgeist energetically, and ask the Great Mother to show me what's going on. Because it was a galling day. It's the sort of day that really just makes you feel utterly defeated, which is of course exactly what it was meant to do. You know, we all know that. On top of that, the weather is just utterly strange. It's misty, it's hot and it's misty. People can barely breathe, but they still wear their masks. Madness. Anyway, so I went and retreated for a bit, and I did a tarot card reading. I used the Gill tarot pack, and I just tuned in and I meditated, and the reading that came out could not have been more clear. It was crystal clear. The first card I drew was the Devil. The second card I drew was speed. The third card I drew was action. And the fourth card I drew was control, right? So the devil, the Babylonians, are in a hurry, speed, and are taking actions, hurried action. They're in a hurry, they're in a rush. I knew this, I had this feeling all along, but sometimes we doubt our own intuition, don't we? And we think, well, they're so powerful, evil's so powerful. We're used to that, we're being programmed over and over again, and our experience has shown us that, oh, evil's very, very powerful, and the light isn't really very powerful at all. But why is evil in such a rush? Because there's no doubt about it, it is. Because evil is taking speedy actions to control, right? That's what that said, and that was here. Then on the other side, because something said two sides, put the cards, put the devil cards, put them there, and put the other cards there on the right, symbolizing the rise of the new consciousness, which on the other side I had enterprise, which is the Three of Wands. Enterprise, a new beginning, basically, right? Something, because the wands are fire, and so it's something that's being forged from the fire. It is not, it is the beginning, it is beginning, or it has begun, it has begun. The enterprise that we're talking about here is temperance, and temperance, and again, it's open to interpretation, but for me, without a doubt, beyond a shadow of a doubt, temperance is the tarot card that stands for the birth of the new consciousness. Now, the dark side has hijacked us, this world, and we are used to being a certain way, reacting a certain way, feeling a certain way, thinking a certain way, acting a certain way, according to the dictates of the dark side, as it lives within our own consciousness, as it lives on the external field. Fear, low self-worth or no self-worth at all, self-hate, self-attack, self-sabotage. We, for those who've really gone within, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that is how the dark side is able to manipulate people. Wear your mask, do as you're told, stay on your knees, you don't know anything, you're powerless, But for us, soul travelers, this is a time of rising, and this is a time of the strengthening and the birth of the new consciousness. So we are now becoming more and more aware of the power of our magic, the power of our light, which is exponential, and it's rising, it is here. But we must choose it. We must set our intention on a daily basis and say, okay, I made a mistake, I got it wrong, I did yesterday, not in the bike shop so much. I was right to, but that was the eBay situation. I didn't handle that very well at all. I handled that with the old styly consciousness. And everything that we do now, or handle, or approach with the dark consciousness, the hell consciousness is what I call it, we will find it doesn't really work. Everything we approach with the true self-consciousness, which is I trust this is going to work out. It's very feminine. It knows when to take action. It knows when to sit back and let it all unfold. And it's self-love. It comes from a place of self-love, which then there is a flow of power. It says here, the third card I drew on that side is number 8, and it's strength. But as you can see, they're in the desert, and there's a lion and a woman dressed in white. Now that symbolizes purity. It says to me that power, because you see she's tamed a lion, hasn't she? He's wearing a wreath of flowers and she's tamed a lion. There is a sense of self-mastery here. The dark side within us our trauma-based, mind-controlled self wants to still keep behaving that way because that's what it's used to and that's its comfort zone, and we need to say no, that is not going to help you. So we really have to take ourselves in hand here and learn lovingly to master our darker impulses. We have a great deal of strength, for even though we find ourselves in the proverbial desert here, if we stick with it now, people, we will find that these changes are going to be happening, right? Change, transformation, you see. And at the end of that path, we have the sun. That was my reading yesterday, and frankly, it could not honestly have been more clear. The devil, the dark side, is in a hurry, speed, action, control, and on the other side we have an enterprise. We have the birth of the new consciousness, or rather it's already been born, but it's the learning to live in the new consciousness, behave in the new consciousness, think, feel, exist in the new consciousness, and that takes a little time. That is a sort of like feeling that we have at the moment, where we're like in a seesaw. It's like, whoa, sometimes I'm on the dark side, sometimes I'm on the light side, and I'm piggy in the middle, and ooh.